where's the gate? We're still running. We get to the gate. We get there. I look. Hi family. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome back to my channel. Hi family. This is part 2 of this 3-part video regarding our international family trip. So if you were here, that means you have already watched part 1. If not, take a minute, go back and rewatch part 1 so you can understand how we have arrived to this situation. We get there. I look. My husband looks upset at the counter. My daughters are crying. The flight attendants there are standing at the gate like this. And I'm like, they didn't leave us. They didn't leave us. I'm like, what happened? What happened? And my husband's like, the plane left. And I was like, what time is it? It was literally exactly 1:52. So I said, wait a second. I just got here at 1:52. What time did you get here, babe? I actually got here a few minutes ago. So you got to the gate early and the plane was already gone? Impossible. So I go to the flight attendant. Why did the plane leave early? Oh my gosh, I just missed a super important moment. Let me go back really quickly. So while I was on the plane, before the plane actually took off, while we were still waiting for the latches, I went on delta.com and I clicked on the chat with the representative. I talked to a representative on there. The representative, I told them what was happening. They said that that's the same information that they got and that they will hold the plane for us. They're gonna hold the plane. Even though the flight attendant on the plane told me no, the representative I spoke to on the chat thing, he said, we are going to hold the plane for you because we also know that there's more people that's going to the same destination that you're going to. Great. Gonna fast forward it back now. They said they were gonna hold the plane. So here goes this guy. Well, I don't know why they told you they was gonna hold the plane because we don't hold the planes. And my manager said we don't hold the planes. So I look at him and I'm like, I didn't give you that energy. So I'm not speaking to you anymore. So now I'm looking at the other 2 flight attendants like, well, what happened? Like, when's the next plane? Oh, the next plane's leaving tomorrow. We have a plane that's coming tonight, but it's already full. I am livid because I'm just like, there's no way. There's no way. There's absolutely, this is ludicrous. And not luda. There's no way. Like, this is regular ludicrous. So I was like, well, who can I speak to? Well, you have to go to the other side and speak to one of the managers over there. So I go to the other side and it's so many, it looks like my mom just plastered across. It's like 6 older women just sitting there. And I'm like, oh, let me give my announcement. By no means am I meaning to be disrespectful to any of you, okay? I'm not yelling at any of you. I'm not taking anything out of any of you. And I do not mean to be disrespectful. But I need to see a manager. So when they asked me what happened and explained the whole situation, she's like, well, the plane's already gone. Right, I know that. Do you know how I know that, Bertha? Because I'm not on the plane and I know that it's gone, right? So now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I can't speak to them anymore. Where's the manager? The manager comes, explain the whole situation. Well, there's nothing that we could do. You just gotta fly out tomorrow. No, we're going to a resort. So who's paying our resort fees for today? Because now we're wasted. This is not like a little cheap family vacation. We're literally going to a resort. So who's paying for this? Well, we're not gonna pay for this because blah, 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 blah. Oh no, someone's paying for this and it's not gonna be me. And they're gonna pay for this whole trip because this is ridiculous. So now I'm crying because I'm just like, yo, like I planned out everything perfectly. Like I leave room forever. I leave room for all of mishaps in life when I do things. It's just a shout out to my moms too. My mom's out there. You already know how we schedule things. We can't schedule things precisely. We have to leave margins of error for our children, for anything to happen. Like, oh no, she got dressed? Great, she spilled chocolate on her dress. Oh no, this happened? Oh great, he just fell and skinned his knee. So we learn to leave room for error because everything is not gonna go as planned. And then it is what it is, right? So that's how I do things. I don't just plan everything up to the next second. I plan things up to the next second. Great, we still have a window of what could be done in this window. So now I'm thinking like, I did what I always do. Like, how is this the reality of it right now? So we sit down in the airport. My girls are still crying. The other girls that we just met are also crying because they actually had a wedding to go to that they were a part of. And now they're not even gonna be there. So they're crying. My husband is livid, but he's just like, we have to figure out what we need to do now. But I'm seeing red because I'm just like, not only did this happen to us, we were promised different things. Everybody's mad rude. Like, no one's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Or, oh wow, that happened. No one's like that. Everyone's like, okay, so the plane left. attitude about? Like, I'm the customer. We should be figuring something out to help. Like, this shouldn't just be okay. So anyway, I decided to call the 1-800 number for Delta, called them. I was on hold for an hour. I spoke to a lady who said the same exact information. She was a lot nicer. I wish I remembered her name. So I spoke to her. She calmed me down. She said, okay, what you have to worry about tonight? We can't bring the plane back. We can't undo all the damage that we did. This is absolutely our fault. Delta should be ashamed of themselves. We dropped the ball, and now it's like we're not helping you. Let me help you, okay? You can get a hotel voucher. You can get a food voucher for your family, and we'll put you on the next plane in the morning. So she's like, all right, so what do you want to do? And I was like, I would like all those things, but I still want to wait on standby to see if we can get on the plane tonight, even though it would have put us at getting there at the crack of dawn in the morning, where I don't even think the resort office would be open. I'm like, let's just wait. So my husband had got the standby tickets when he went up to the gate because they gave them to him. So we go to the gate, and we're just sitting there, and I'm just watching like 10 people get there, 20 people, 30 people, 40 people. It's like 70 people over there. And I'm just like, this plane doesn't hold 70 people. So where are all these people going? So I go up to the ticket agent and I ask him, how many standbys do you have for this flight? This flight is full and we have 15 people on standby. So what is the likeliness that we're actually getting on this flight? And he's like, well, you guys are actually like the top 4. So if anybody doesn't make it, then you guys should be on. He's like, actually, there's only 3. We only have room for 3 standby tickets if someone doesn't come. And I was like, well, that won't work because there's 4 of us. So my husband is like, well, why don't the 3 of you go and I'll get there tomorrow? And I was like, that's not happening. Like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. So we sat there for like 20 minutes or so. And then they start like, trying to do pre-boarding and everything. And the flight attendants on this flight, they're lit. Playing reggae music. Everyone is lit. Everyone's having a great time. Everyone's in a great mood. And the 4 of us are sitting there like, we're sitting there like, we can't even be hyped because we're not even on this flight. So I looked at my husband. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call the resort and see if we can change our reservation. This is the first time in life that I did not schedule a vacation from day of working to day of returning. So let me explain. If I work on Monday and I say I'm taking a week off, like I will take off from Monday to Monday and go back to work on Tuesday. This is the only area that I don't schedule a buffer, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to waste my time, my vacation time or my sick time being home when I might need it if we actually have an emergency with the girls or myself that we actually need it. So this is the first time that I ever scheduled a trip from one day to one day, but then I took another extra day off just to kind of recuperate from what happened at the trip and then going to work the next day. So it's funny because before I left, I was talking to my best friend about it, and she's like, you did that? And I'm like, yeah. She's like so proud of me because she's like, you don't do that. Like, this is the first time. And I'm like, I know, right? Like, when we get back home, I'm going to have a day to chill and relax and do laundry and get my stuff together for work. Like, this was the thing. So I looked at my husband and I say, maybe I can call the resort and see if we can start our trip tomorrow. That way, we didn't lose a day at the resort. And, like, he already scheduled the extra day of him not going to work because that's what he normally does. If he goes someplace, he takes the next day off anyway, just because. I'm not built like that. So this was the first time that I did it. So it was nothing to him. So I contacted the resort and I asked them, hey, is there a way we can move the date back? They said yes. They gave me this obscene number that I'll have to pay for it to be different. And I'm just like, wait a second. This actually wasn't our fault. This is the plane. There was a plane problem and they made us move to the next day. So we just had to send them an email showing that the plane left us and we got bumped to the next day. So I sent them the email. They said it's all right. Now they only charged me $20 to change it. I changed it. We got up. I said, let's just go get vouchers for everything. And let's just, like, I'm tired now. I'm exhausted. I don't want to play this game no more. Let's go get vouchers for some little hotel room. Whatever. Let's just go. Like, I'm tired. So we get up to leave. I give our standby tickets to the girls that were on the plane with us the first time. And I'm like, hey guys, you can have our standby tickets. And they're just like, are you sure? I'm just like, yeah, there's 23 seats anyway. There's 2 of you. We weren't like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I really hope you guys make it. I hope you have an amazing time. I hope that you're still able to make some part of the wedding. Like, I'm so sorry this happened to you too, but I hope you guys have a great time. And we walk off. So now my husband is like, all right, so now we have to go back to the same place to go ask them for the hotel and the food vouchers. And so I was just like, I literally can't go back over there. I can't. My soul will not allow me to go back over there because I was crying over there. I was yelling over there. They weren't helpful. Nobody was moved. Like, I just feel like I can't go back defeated over there. Like, I can't go back over there. The energy over there is off. I'm not going back over there. We have to find a different, like, help desk. So now we're walking. I'm just like, I look like a little sad dog. I see this other desk over here. All the women over there, they look really young. And I was like, let me just go over here. Like, let me just go over here. So I wait on the line. I call next. I go up to the lady, and I'm just like, I'm feeling really defeated. We've been in this airport now for almost 12 hours. I am drained. I'm super discouraged. And I just really hope that you can help me. And the lady looks up at me and she's like, oh my gosh. Like, she can see it on my face. She's like, I don't know what happened to you, but I'm going to fix everything. And I just look at her and I'm just like, what do you mean you're going to fix everything? And she says, try me. So I tell her this entire horror story, how we got to the plane early and something was wrong with the latches and they didn't update us on time. Then how rude the flight attendants were about, not trying to help us figure out how we can make it. Then we got all the way there. Then the plane left early. Then speaking to the real women at the other table, how they weren't helpful. Then still staying, waiting on hold for an hour on the phone to listen to a representative. Then still waiting and going to the standby gate to see if we can make it. Then just finally getting here. And she's just like, did you eat today? And I'm like, yeah, we had like coffee and crackers and stuff at like 6:30 this morning when we got to the airport. But now it's literally 7 o'clock at night and we didn't have time for that. Like, we didn't have time for any of these things. So she's just like, okay, so let's fix that first. So she starts typing away on her thing. Typing. This lady was like, okay, so now you have enough food vouchers to have a meal. That little $15 wasn't helping anything. Now you can have a meal with your family. She sends me so many food vouchers. She's like, here, I've typed in the whole thing of what happened and how you were here and you have a family of 4 and you're hungry and all this type of things. Here you go. What's next? And I was like, well, now we need a hotel to stay at because now I guess we have to stay in Atlanta overnight. She goes back in her system. She starts typing away. She goes back in her system. Great. What hotel do you want to stay at? And I'm just like, at this point, I'm so removed from the situation. I don't care about anything anymore. As long as we're someplace safe and the food is edible, I don't care anymore at this point. So I was like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not in a place to be picking and choosing where we should stay because I don't want to be staying anywhere. I want to be going where we were supposed to go. So she does all of the stuff. I forgot the hotel name. I'm going to put the hotel name in here. She said this hotel is amazing. It is wonderful. There's a restaurant downstairs too. There's a bar downstairs. You're going to have a great night. It's beautiful inside there. She books it. What's next? I'm like, well, now we had to change our resort so we won't lose money from the resort fees. So now we changed it to be one day after, but now our flights are wrong because now it has us leaving at the day we had before, but now we have to move our flight the day after. She's like, why can't you do that on your phone? And I'm like, because I didn't think any of this was going to happen. And this is the first time that I purchased non-refundable tickets. And she's like, all right, I think I can fix that. She's on the phone. She's calling people. She's typing stuff. She points for another phone for me to pick up this other phone to call somebody. She's doing her magic. We were talking to this lady for almost an hour at the help counter. She finished all this stuff. She was able to call like her manager's manager, and then they were able to change our flight tickets. So at this point now, I'm like frozen. I'm stunned. Like, I'm shook. I'm literally shook because I'm just like, no one was helpful to us all day. I was trying to still have a brave face for my family and for my girls so they don't feel like, oh, like everything's going astray. I was still trying to be like, to be positive about it, to be faithful about it, to be all these things. But I just felt like every turn there was another stop. But I'm just like, it took nothing. It took nothing for this girl to help me. And when she said she was going to help us with everything, she was going to fix everything, she fixed everything. So I'm just like, wow. And she's like, is there something else you need? What else you need? She looks at my husband and said, this girl's stressed. She's stressed You need to take her out. You need to wine and dine her. You need to, some other stuff that I'm not going to say on here. You need to do all of those things. So you need to help your wife out. She's stressed. She shouldn't be looking like this. And she look hungry. So now I'm laughing. I'm like, yo, like this lady, she's playing me. But she's so helpful. And then she's even in the middle of helping us. She's asking me about my family and where we're going and all these questions. And then she's telling me about her family and her kids and all. Like my stress level is going down. Like it's going down. She was such a zen and a positive aura. It was just like, what is happening? Like, it was wonderful. So she finished everything and she's like, that's it. And you know what's funny? Like, I wasn't scheduled to work today. My manager called me and asked me if I wanted some OT. So I said, sure, what the heck, I'll come in. And I'm just like, you were nothing short of a godsend. You were sent by God to be right here at this exact time because he knew I needed help. I was distraught, I was broken, and he knew I needed to be uplifted, and this was it. So we leave and the girls are like, well, what's happening now? I'm like, we have a really nice hotel apparently. You can order all types of food, whatever food you want to get, we can get it. Because now we have the food vouchers. Our plane is fixed. We got a flight to come back. Like we're good now. So it's like everyone's just like settling. So I'm like, all right, let's go to the hotel first so we can see what it looks like, so we can freshen up and change, and then we can go from there. We get to the hotel and she was not kidding. The hotel was beautiful. Such a pretty hotel. What a long day. Cannot wait to make a video about what happened today. The hotel was pristine. It was just beautiful. The agents in the front were so nice and so loving and so welcoming. They were just great. So we get there, everyone showers and changes, and we're just like, we're tired. We don't want to leave. The beds are comfortable. Like, we don't want to go anywhere. Let's just order food. So I find out from the hotel that the vouchers that she gave us, they actually still worked with delivery. So I was like, let's just order all the food. So we ordered food from a Chinese place, from a Jamaican place, from the Italian place. We ordered food from all different types of restaurants, and we had a smorgasbord of food that we just ate. And we were just so content. Like, this is amazing. This is amazing. We all ate until we had the itis, and then we all fell asleep. We woke up early, you know, like we normally would. Woke up early, went back to the airport. Going to Cancun, part 2. For real this time. I can't turn my head, but I gotta get a video of the hotel. Look. I hope I can see it. This time we were able to make it on the flight, and we got there, and then we just had the time of our lives. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot one thing. So when she finished helping us, I realized that I had a crick in my neck. And I'm like, oh, hold on, I can't move. And she goes, what happened? I'm like, I don't know. I think I pulled a muscle or something. And she's like, did you lift anything heavy? And I'm like, did I lift anything heavy? I don't think that. And then just in that moment, I remember me running up all the escalators and running down the escalators and on the sky plane and all this type of stuff with the suitcases. And I'm like, wow, I think I strained my neck. I could not turn to the left. I had to turn my whole back this way. I couldn't turn my head. I couldn't crack my neck. I couldn't do any of those things. So I ended up having a crick in my neck. It was so painful for that night. And the first 2 days of our trip, even after we got to our destination, I was like broken. But we went to the spa, we went to the beach, we went to the pool, we had a blast, we ate food, we just had a great time.
Unfortunately, I do not have an outro for this video because I did not expect to film for so long. So please stay tuned for part 3. But I did include a short clip of us arriving to the resort via our taxi and us walking into the building itself. I am going to make a dedicated video about our trip, about the resort that we stayed at and the things that we did. So I will save the photos and the videos that I did take for that video. I hope you enjoyed. Again, please stay tuned for part 3. Until next time.
Babe, this is gorgeous.